we like bleached the house, like, cause I was like,
Yeah.
so that was really cool. Luckily, it only lasted for like 48 hours. It was not like super long, but the stomach pain I had, we almost went to the hospital. We were getting ready to go. And then Justin's like, why don't you lay down again? Like, why don't you eat a cracker? Like, why don't you drink a little
Eat a
Gatorade?
cracker, bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. The bitch eating crackers.
Hi, I'm Kyle, a tired therapist.
And I'm Jackie, also a tired therapist.
And together, we are
Two tired therapists.
Welcome to the pod.
Well. How do you start after what, a
This
4-month break?
This is
4 months.
This is a great gift for that the gift of Madison Montgomery from American Horror Story, Coven.
Sure.
She's a surprise bitch. Bet you.
Oh, is it that? That's Emma Roberts' character, right? The surprise bitch. Okay, okay.
Bet you thought you saw the last of
That's
me or
me.
something. That's us. That's us right now because baby, we're back.
Did anybody in your life ask you if we were ever coming back? Because I had a couple people.
Yeah, about 2 people.
Or 3 listeners collectively.
Collectively are right. So probably your father-in-law asked, right, where are you? And then our number one fan,
mom
Greg,
asked. My mom asked. Well, because Greg kind of we see them more often. So I was telling them like, oh, we're just like busy.
Sure.
I mean, that was the best way to put it.
Yeah. I think my dad asked because he kind of listens. And then maybe like 2 other people that I work with asked me.
Love that.
So, I'm just happy that anyone asked, to be honest.
It makes me feel famous. Where have you guys been?
Right. Well, we can answer that for you.
Sure, we can. But should we start with a tired thing, I guess? Because
I think because it's been so long, we should do 2 tireds.
Okay, that's fine.
We should do 2 tireds.
I'll do one, you do one, and then I'll do one, and then you do one. That way it'll be more. Do you want to go first or should I go first?
Well, I can go first because I have been banking some good ones.
Okay, good.
So I really hope you will agree with me on this one.
I'm gonna die if mine are like the same as yours, but I hope not.
We'll find out. So, and we'll talk about it, but part of my journey has been looking at furniture.
Oh.
And the styles out there are wild. And there's this phenomenon, perhaps you've heard of it, of dining tables, but with a bench.
Yeah.
It's got to go. It's not for me.
It's tired.
It's not for me. It's tired. There should be chairs, and nothing else.
Should we say that this is a virtual recording? This is not in person.
Oh yeah, we should probably say that.
Apologies if you hear the background things, because this is just what's happening with our lives.
Yeah, today. you're gonna hear dogs. We're trying to bring you content because we're content creators, and it's just
ABC,
been really hard.
Always be contenting.
Always be contenting, and so that's where we're at.
Yes. Okay. So we're at. Benches with dining tables. I think they were like a big thing like a couple years ago.
Oh, there's still
I know they're still big, but like I remember the whole like fad of like it seats more people. I don't know. I
don't think. Maybe if you all sit really close to each other, but I don't want that.
Sure.
I just think it looks funky. Like now, if it was like all benches, okay, fine.
That's fine.
You did 2 benches because then that's a picnic table. Fine.
Sure.
Go for that. But it's weird when it's like half of it's a bench and then you got 2 chairs and then you got a chair. No, that's tired. Stop doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I would do it. I've seen like nice pictures, but the ones that I see, it's like they have like a nook or something that like you can build a bench into. Like it's got like kind of like a bay window. Doesn't. But I get what you're saying. Like a dining room with like a bench. Anyways, I'm with you on that. For me, I thought of this while I was driving at work one day, and I was like, these are the things I should write down. I remember it because I had such a profound thought that I was like, I have to share this. I was probably listening to our podcast when I thought this. And this can be a 2025. We're tired, even though we're recording this in February, but this can be out for 2025 and forever. I am tired of people saying I'm speaking my truth. I'm so tired of hearing that. Justin and I watched, I don't even remember what it was. Was it Love is Blind? He's telling me in the background.
Season.
It was season 7, and everybody at the reunion was like, well, this is my truth. I'm speaking my truth. And I was like, I can't listen to you speak your truth anymore. I just can't. People who say that, I'm so sorry. I can't take you seriously.
What does it even mean? I mean, is that just a way for you to be like, I'm an asshole and you can't tell me I am because it's my truth? Like, I think it's that, right?
I think it's a way to absolve responsibility for how you made somebody feel or the actions that you took.
It's gaslighting.
At least be honest and be like, you know what, bitch, you pissed me off, and I was petty. And so it's like, let me speak my truth. Like, I can't. I was like, we can't be having this.
We don't have to do that here. Right.
So that's out. I'm tired, and it should be out forever. Anyways.
So we're not speaking our truth here.
No, I'm always speaking my truth. Well, I don't need to preface it with that. I would never. I mean,
right? It's just a constant.
Yes. Now, what's yours? What's your number 2?
Let me get my list back out.
Still haven't made my own list, but it's fine.
I'll save my I have other styling choices of things. Oh, okay. This is low hanging fruit, and I think it's controversial yet brave for me to say. And I don't think I've talked about this before. But iced coffee. Not a fan.
I think you have. It's been a long time. It's been over a year. It's been over a year.
It's not been checked off. So
okay, maybe we had a separate discussion about this.
I think. Well, let's just PSA. It needs to be brought back. Iced coffee. I'm so sorry. I know, gay culture is to have iced coffee, but I have to betray my people.
Going against the culture.
I have to go against the culture. It could be 98 degrees outside. I want that coffee hot. I do.
This is where I will disagree, because I do like iced coffee, but I like iced coffee in appropriate temperatures. Like, I would not order an iced coffee in the middle of winter. Like, I will never do that. But in like the summer, yeah, I will.
Some people exclusively do iced coffee.
I
don't know about that. No.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
A coffee truist here over here.
I'm just over here. I'm just living my truth. I'm just speaking my truth over here about coffee and
my God.
dining room furniture.
Well, on that note, I mean, also going against the culture, I fear for myself, but I'm not afraid. Remember when TikTok went down? I was so tired of hearing about TikTok. I was like, you know what? Just let it die. Just let it go. I'm so tired of TikTok. And and everybody made their like goodbye videos, like we're on Facebook in 2006, like, and then it comes back up, and then we won't talk about all the politics behind all of it. Right. I was like, I'm so tired of hearing about TikTok.
People were selling their phones like with the app on there, even though you couldn't use it.
And you were like, they were selling for like thousands of dollars, and I'm like, wow, this is America.
Exactly. I still can't get on TikTok, and now I used to, if someone sent you a TikTok, you could at least watch it.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
You can't anymore.
And so when people send that to me, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't watch that.
And I'm like, I don't care. I could care less.
I now manage a bunch of Gen Zers, and they just are like, you're a boomer. But they are kind enough to screen grab or screen record.
That is crazy, but I do love it.
Them. God bless those kids. Them. They keep me young. They keep me so young.
Amy Poehler from Mean Girls. They keep me. You girls keep me young.
You girls keep me young. They really do. So,
oh my God, I love it.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We know it's been literally 3 months? November, December, January, February.
Yeah, almost 4. Probably.
By the time this comes out, probably almost 4.
Oh my. Well, we didn't intend to take this long of a hiatus. Maybe a break might be, it's not the right word. Hiatus. We did not intend for that. I don't know if you want to go first.
We've both been on very different journeys.
Sure.
We've both been speaking very different truths.
Yes.
Out here. I don't know. I mean, I did a lot. I've done a lot.
You're being modest about it.
if I'm being honest, if I'm speaking my truth, um I got a promotion at work. I don't
Woot
think
woot.
we talked about it last time.
No.
I'm now a manager, which
Godspeed. God bless
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
It's been a journey.
Hmm. Hmm.
It will continue to be a journey. Um and that's where I'm at. So I did that, and at the same time, I bought a house,
Hmm.
and that was stressful. It we
Oh,
literally we
yeah.
literally started, I don't know if I told you. We literally started because I was telling Edward, I was like, it's a long process. Like, you look at houses,
Yeah.
and then as soon as you go, they're pending, and it can take
Yeah.
months to find one. We literally went and saw 3 houses one night. First night we looked at any.
Hmm.
We decided to make an offer on the very first one we saw because we were like, we like it. Like, it fits pretty well.
Sure.
We weren't like, oh my God, we love it, but we were like, we don't want it to pass.
Yeah.
So let's just make an offer. They accepted our offer in 2 hours. And so we literally bought the first house we saw.
Oh, Justin and I had a very different experience.
Well, that was my experience buying the condo. Like,
Yeah.
it was literally like, we would say, okay, we're gonna go see these 5 places. I would get to it. My realtor would pull up. She'd be like, "Oh, it's pending. Oh, it's pending. Oh, it's
Yeah.
pending."
That
Like,
happened to us multiple times. Not to steal your thunder, but when we bought our house, it'll be 8 years in June, which is disgusting to think about. But we saw a lot of houses, and this was 8 years ago. So it was like it was a different market,
mhm,
a different everything. But
mhm,
when we went, we saw a house, we liked it. It was kind of small, had a pool, it was really nice. We put in an offer. They had already accepted one. Like, we were leaving and they were calling, our realtor
mhm.
was calling in the offer, and they're like, "Well, you can be the backup offer." So we had to like our realtor was like, add 5K to it, like, so we went a little over budget, and then he's like, if the first one drops, they'll take you guys second. Well, the first one didn't drop, it did go through, so we were like kind of bummed because we really liked that house. And then we saw a bunch of houses. Literally, we saw one we literally were standing in the kitchen, and our realtor was like, "Okay, they already just accepted an offer," and it had only been
Yep,
on the market for
it's
like 12 hours. Another
100%. Yeah.
one, we should probably, I won't say who our realtor was because he was like, "Don't ever tell anybody I did this," but we went to this house, and it had just like, we were 100% the first people who saw it because it had gone on the market. He called us and he was like, "Could you guys meet me there in like an hour?" We're like, "Sure." We go there, we see the house, we're like, "Okay, it's fine," but we kind of want a house, so we're like, "We'll put it in an offer." Our realtor locked the keys because he knew there was another realtor coming to show the house, so he locked the keys inside the house so they couldn't get.
I love that.
He was
Sabotage.
he's great. And then we did the whole thing, and then we put it in, and somebody had put in an offer sight unseen, and the people
Yes.
accepted it. And so
Yes.
our
It's
house,
wild.
our
It's
current
wild
house
out
was
there.
the last one we saw before I told Justin, I was like, if like, this is it, like, I'm done looking, because we were about to get married, it was a whole thing, so I was like, I don't want to do this. So we saw our house, and Justin's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine." And it had been on the market like 12 hours, and it was a rental, so
Mm,
we were the first ones to see it. They accepted it immediately, and we got our house,
right.
and which was fine. So it's like, it's and I can't imagine. I had a coworker recently who bought a house this past fall. It's a totally different world. Like,
Well,
it's not even the same.
I think why they accepted ours so quickly is because they were selling and buying, and they needed it to match up.
Yeah,
And I had told Edward, I said, that puts us in a good position because we were gonna rent out the condo. So
sure.
we didn't really need that. But I didn't think they were gonna accept our offer. I
Right.
figured there'd be like a counter offer and be like, ah, fuck you guys. And
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then
but nope, they accepted it.
I know bidding wars are like crazy right now too. So it's like some
Nope,
people are like, they're
not
not
in my
accepting
life.
it because they'll be like, somebody else will be like, if you list your house for 200, they'll be like, "I'll pay 225." Like, I mean,
Right. Nope. I know. It
you
was
did send
crazy.
me the address and the listing, and it is a lovely looking house. It is very nice.
Thank you. We have
So
been, well, so we buy the house. I'm pretty sure it was the end of October. Was it October when we like closed, or not closed, when we like had the offer, and then we closed in December,
yeah.
the beginning of December. And then we started like moving stuff slowly, like just taking carloads and stuff over.
Mm-hmm.
And then we officially moved the week of Christmas, the Monday of
God
Christmas, actually.
bless. The 23rd.
Um, so the 23rd. And that
God.
was fun because
Nothing was open.
nothing, well, I mean, I had movers and stuff, but my parents, God bless. Hi, mom and dad, if
Hey,
you're
mom and
listening.
dad.
This has nothing to do with you. They really wanted to come and see the house. They were really excited.
Sure, sure.
So they were like, "Oh, you should host Christmas. That'd be so fun." And I'm like, "Well, it's gonna be a shit show. So if you guys are like fine with that," they're like, "Yeah, of course, of course, of course."
Oh, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, so my dad's saying like, "Well, we'll come like Tuesday and we'll leave Thursday. You know, we don't want to be gone from home too long and all this." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. We're moving Monday. That gives me the day to like at least straighten up the
Try to
rooms
get
that
like,
need to be
yeah,
straightened up because Edward was working that whole week."
sure. I was gonna ask if he was there or not. Okay, so it's just
No,
you.
it was just me. It was just me. He
Mm-hmm.
was working away. And so literally we're in the like at the house. The movers are just throwing things
Oh,
in it.
oh, I
I mean,
love
not
that.
literally, but like
No,
they're
but
just
like, yeah.
bringing things in because I'm like, I don't know where it's gonna go. So I'm like, just put it wherever.
Okay, yeah.
And my dad calls and he said, "Well, we're gonna leave in an hour." And I said,
Girl,
"Excuse me?" He said, "Well, we decided to come today." I was like, "You're gonna have to help me put
I
this
need
house
about 3
together."
business days notice before that happens.
But he was very nice. Thank you, Dad. He very much helped like move the like couches and stuff so that we could at least all
Yeah.
sit, and we had the tree up, and we like at least had the mattresses on the floor so people could sleep, because then Edward was going to drive down with his mom and his sister
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
to be there for the holidays and help us and stuff. So but it has been very stressful because I mean, you know, you're just making your own, you're unpacking, you're
Yeah.
organizing. But at the same time, we were getting the condo ready to rent. That took like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
We finally got that done in February. Um, and now it's just working on stuff here,
Yeah.
which, you know, he's got his projects going.
Yes.
So there's about 100 projects. Um, we got some
Yeah.
dining room furniture delivered today. No benches, of course, only
Good.
chairs. Thank God.
Canceled if there was if I saw a bench,
We
canceled.
saw a bunch of them anyways. So, so yeah. So that's why on my end, things have been
Mm-hmm.
busy. I've had no time, no energy to
Yeah, because you were
record.
like, because last time you saw we saw each other, you had told me you were gonna get promoted. I don't even think you
Yeah.
had like started technically doing it yet.
No, because I started like the 20th of November or
Yeah,
something.
and
So it
you had
must have been.
told, I want to say you told us in like October you were looking for houses,
Hmm.
and then I think a couple weeks later you're like, we found one. And then I remember you were like, yeah, we're closing on this day because we mailed you our. Now you're on my address book, so you'll be on my Christmas list until I
I
decide
love
to
it.
delete
Well,
you off
we
of it.
got your one this year too.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's cool because I always had you on it, but I didn't have like because we just gave it to you, and
hmm
so I was like, well, I'll just mail it because it'll be like probably the first piece of mail. And I held it because we mailed our cards like 2 weeks before, so I held it until you knew you were in the house. So I was
yeah.
like, watch some weirdo get my card.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. I don't know if you did you meet the sellers or anything? Did you ever like? Because now I guess
We
that's
did.
a thing now.
I know that's I always thought it was very secretive, like you can't know
Yeah,
who it is. No, we like we sat down with them for closing,
yeah. That's what happened to me too. We sat
which
down with
was
the
so
rental company
strange.
for closing, which was weird. I didn't. I was like, I was so uncomfortable. I was like,
Hmm.
ugh.
Yeah. They were very nice. There was definitely an age gap between them, which love is love. We support
T.
all forms of love, even if we have something to say about
Who
it.
was older, man or woman? I just want to know.
The man.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He was a retired, oh, I should probably shouldn't say too much because you probably find him. He was a retired some form of police officer. I don't know if it was
Okay,
like for the state or what. And then was a streamer, I guess a very popular streamer.
interesting.
Um and they also did like they did like 3D printing and all this other
Oh,
stuff.
hmm.
So I think they had a bunch of side hustles because they had like a dog grooming station downstairs,
Yeah, when I
and
saw the
he like
pictures
had a
of the
recording
listing, yeah,
studio.
it was like there. It looked really cool. I was
Mhm.
telling Justin, I was like, they definitely were. Someone was a gamer in the house because you could tell from one of the
Yes.
rooms. That's interesting.
Yeah, he gamed and did recording, like had some famous local rapper record an album. So I'm living I historic. This is a historic building, actually, I
You're like,
think. Um
you're like, this is a landmark, please, and I will
thank
charge you
you.
$40,000 upon
40
entry to my home.
exact well, to pay this fucker off, yeah. Um, but they were very nice, and he was explaining to Edward how to, they had smart lights and they had all this stuff, and he was
Oh,
telling him how to do it, and they were going to leave things for us, and so they were very kind, very nice people.
that's nice.
Um, but yeah, the age gap clocked it as soon as they walked in. Edward and I are sitting there. We got there first, and
Did
they
you make a
walk in, and we're
face?
just both like, because she was probably, I think she was Edward's age, so she was like barely 30, and he was certainly in his 50s, perhaps late 50s. Again, love is love.
See, I make these faces and only you can see them, but like in person, I probably would have been like as cool as a cucumber. But with you, I'm like, because that's
Well,
what I've been doing
yeah.
internally.
We were looking at birthdays, we were looking at all sorts of
Sure,
things.
sure. Well, because
We were we were
assuming they
clocking
bought
it.
it together, obviously, if they were both at closing. Although I did bring Justin to closing, and the house is technically just in my name. But I was
Oh,
like, I'm not going alone. I was like, I don't want to.
yeah,
And then to sit there for like 25 minutes and sign every signature and paper, and oh my god, it
literally.
was
I know I
terrible.
told Edward, I was like, "You're gonna sign a lot." He was like, "Oh, I'm used to it. Like I've had apartments." I said, "No, this is not that.
No, I've never.
This is different. This is literally like an hour and a half of signing."
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, it.
I
Yeah.
know. So sorry, I know I'm like 1% of millennials, owning a home and stuff and
And well,
everything, but
what can I
so
say?
sorry.
I'm
So sorry
in the same 1%
to
as you.
so sorry to what, you know, just show how cool I am.
You're gonna be like, so
Um
sorry to the paupers
r-
not living
r-
in homes.
so sorry to the plebes. So
So
sorry
yes,
to the peasants out there.
yeah, to the peasants out there. Oh my
Those
god.
who rent. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You have a house. Oh,
Right.
sorry.
Right. Oh, you live in a box. Oh, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
So let's talk about you. I mean, HIPAA violation. You had basically tuberculosis, like dengue fever, like
Dengue
the
fever.
Spanish flu. Like, what did you really
Oh
have?
my
I can't
god.
remember now.
Okay, so well, I would. Okay, mine.
So sorry if
Unfortunately,
you
my
hear my
update.
dog in the background.
Oh, I don't hear anything to be quite honest
Oh,
with
good.
you.
Well, these microphones. I mean, professional.
Ours are passed out on the bed right now, so which is where we want. No, so mine's are not as exciting as yours, unfortunately for everyone listening to this. I'm gonna regale my stories of how
It's
sick I
exciting in a
was.
different way.
Sick. I was pretty. Oh my god, it was terrible. So I've been sick at least once a month since October, since like probably the
Hmm.
last time I saw you. So in November, it was the only reason I remember it was because it was the weekend before the election, which should have been just an
A
omen,
portend,
a
an
true
omen.
omen. I
Yes,
should have known.
yes, a dark
Um,
omen of
but
things to come.
we had a game night with Katie and Greg, and like the next day, I was like, I don't really feel like I didn't feel. I was in. I'll just say this: I was in sick denial. You know how like when you're sick, you're like, I'm not really
Hmm.
sick. I was in
Right,
denial for
right.
far too long. So yeah, it was like that weekend, and then I worked from home that Monday because I was like, you know what, I'm not going to go anywhere. Like I just don't feel right. And the
Hmm.
more, the more I was like, I am dying, I think. And so, and I was like coughing, I was like all sorts of stuff. And so so the next morning we woke up because I was off of work and we went and voted at like no joke 6 a.m. and I had a mask on. Everybody looked at me like I was like I hate to say it like this, but they looked at me like I was a terrorist. They were like staring at me. They were like,
Oh, I'm
and
sure. I'm
I was
right.
being
I'm
annoying and
sure.
trying to cough. So I wasn't like, it wasn't like I was just wearing a mask. It was like I was legitimately ill. I had to cancel a facial. That was devastating for me.
Oh no. That's how you know. That's
Yeah,
how you know you were
I
sick.
texted my esthetician. I was like, I am so sorry. I was like, I do not want to get you sick. I was like, but I'm sick. So I had like a cold, and everybody at work like 2 weeks before that had a cold. I was the only one who didn't get the cold, but I got it 2 weeks later. So I was sick most of that election week, which again should have been an omen. I woke up in the
Right.
middle of the night on Tuesday. Well, probably was like Wednesday morning. It was like 2 a.m. I look at my phone and I was like, oh, okay. And I just put my phone down and I was like, not today, Satan. And it surely was today, Satan. Um, it's horrible. So there was that. We went to my mom's house for Thanksgiving, so like that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then in December, so I got sick too. Like, so right before Christmas, literally like the weekend before Christmas, I got sick again. It was
Mm-hmm.
lovely. We stayed in our home. Well, I don't want to call it my hometown, but we stayed at our home base for Christmas, so I didn't have to travel. What was the kicker was my boss was off for 2 weeks, and I had agreed to cover for him. And so, and he's important and I'm not. So it's sort of like, I was like, oh shit, here we go. Like I'm sick. Luckily nothing happened, but I had a really terrible cold again. But after like a week, it got worse. Like it wasn't like the one in November. And I was like, oh shit. So before New Year's, the weekend before New Year's, I went to urgent care. Shout out to our old employer because I went to the med check.
Oh.
Because I didn't want to like go to, there was no way I was going to get into my doctor. Healthcare in America, we won't talk about it, but there was no way I was going to get in
That's
on
a
short
whole nother
notice.
episode.
Yeah, I wasn't going to chance it. And it was the only place I could like make an appointment and show up for it. So I went and they were like, it was an interesting experience. I will say that. They had a blood pressure machine, an automatic one that she put on my arm. It broke. So like it just squeezed
Oh.
my arm for like 2 minutes. And she was like, I knew it was broken. I was like, well, you still put it on me.
This
She was
seems
like,
this seems illegal.
yeah,
Perhaps.
it seems, she's like, it's always been broke. She's like, but maybe they fixed it. I was like, okay, we're going to test it on my arm. Cool beans. Um, and then the MP came in and she was cool. And she was like, so what's the deal? And I had been coughing so hard, I was throwing up. No joke. It
Oh
was
my
just,
God.
yeah, it was horrible. I've never experienced something like that. Like literally, this is so disgusting. So sorry, everybody. I guess trigger warning if you don't like disgusting stuff. I was coughing so bad in our bedroom. Justin, we were both working from home. I could feel it start to come up. So I like got
Ooh.
up and then I just threw up all over our bathroom floor. I
Oh
couldn't
my
stop it.
God.
I
You
couldn't
didn't tell me that that's so tragic.
and it wasn't like it wasn't like a crazy amount, but I told call for Justin. I was like, can you give me a towel? And he ended up cleaning it up and I felt so bad because I just needed him to get me a towel because I would have cleaned it up. But I mean, I think for 5 days in a row, I threw up every day from coughing. Like it was
That is
horrible.
crazy.
Yeah. So I went and they were like, well, do you want to do a chest x-ray? And I'm like, well, insurance is, again, we won't talk about healthcare in America. So I was like, no. And I asked, I was like, well, would you have, like, if a family member was asking you, would you tell them to give you an x-ray? That's like my standard question for doctors. I'm like, if it was your family,
Right.
would you
Right.
suggest this? And she was like, well, I don't.
A
And I was
family
like,
member you like. You have to, like, yeah, a
Part of
family
my
member
laugh.
you like.
Yeah, somebody that you actually love. No, and she said, I said, well, what will it show? She's like pneumonia, and I had pneumonia as a child. I had scarlet fever as a child, so I know what these terrible things feel like. And I'm like, this is not pneumonia. And so she's like, okay. She's like, well, I'm gonna basically. She's like, did you get your like updated shots? Like, have you had all your vaccines? I was like, yeah. I said I also got the Tdap like 3 years ago. My nephew was born, so like, that's good for 10 years. She was like, well, I think you actually have whooping cough. And I was like, okay, that's what the Tdap covers. Sure. And she was like, well, I can't really give you that diagnosis because like we would need like more testing. She's like, so I'm just going to give you like bronchitis. We'll give you a Z-Pack and I'll get you like cough syrup that's in lean. She's like, drink it at night so you can sleep. Because I wasn't sleeping either because I was coughing.
Right.
That cough syrup was chef's kiss. The
Was
bee's fucking knees. Yeah.
It probably had like codeine in it or something.
It didn't. It wasn't. The. Unfortunately, I did look it up later. I did not have the codeine, but it was the other. Like it's the thing plus codeine. It's that one. So Justin was like, you would drink it and you were asleep in 2 minutes. He's like that.
Nice.
I've never seen anything. So that was really cool. And then in January, I got Kyle and I had set to record. And then literally the day before I got the stomach flu, the worst stomach flu I have ever experienced in my short life because I'm only 18. But Just kidding. I've had the stomach flu several occasions. I thought I was going to die. I told Justin to please let me die several times. He was like, "You're not dying." I said, "I am absolutely dying." And on Friday, I was like on the floor, on our bathroom floor, like dying. And he's like, "You think you can record tomorrow?" I was like, "No, I don't think so." I said, "Can you just text Kyle?" He's like, "Well, let's wait till you see how you feel." I was like, "I am on the floor."
Well,
dying.
I didn't want to come over. I didn't want to catch that. Like
No. Justin told me
hands
later.
would have not caught any illness.
No, I have no idea.
Around.
I have no clue where I got it because nobody around me was ill. I asked people that we had hung out with like the week leading up to that, and they were like, "No, we're all fine." And I'm like, "Cool." So Justin told me later the house smelled like vomit for like 4 days. I was like, "You could have." We cleaned it. We like bleached the house, like because I was like,
yeah.
So that was really cool. Luckily, it only lasted for like 48 hours. It was not like super long, but the stomach pain I had, we almost went to the hospital. We were getting ready to go. And then Justin's like, "Why don't you lay down again? Like, why don't you eat a cracker? Like, why don't you drink a little Gatorade?" Yeah. The bitch eating crackers. And then that helped. And then once I started eating real food, it did help. But it was horrible. I won't go into details on this podcast, but it was terrible. I have never experienced anything like that. And apparently the flu is like back in full force. So I will promote vaccines on this podcast. I did skip my flu shot this year, which was a terrible mistake of mine. So, and then we are currently not in our home. We are in my mom's house. Me, Justin, and the dogs effectively moved in with her a couple of weeks ago because she got surgery. Nothing major, nothing crazy. I don't know if she wants me to say exactly what she got, so I won't say it.
Probably no HIPAA violation.
Yeah. I won't violate her PHI. But but we are helping her recover. So we are in, I got off of work. I'm on FMLA right now, which is very lovely and nice. Justin is able to work remotely. So we are not home. And it's been fine, but we're not home.
It's gonna suck when you have to go back to work after.
Oh, the dogs are gonna be horrible. The dogs are like on the schedule. They are now on the new schedule. They are now like they like my mom's house. They've always liked my mom's house. They think they live here now. They're like
right. Well, and they're like,
around like he owns it.
And you don't work, so they're like, well, so you're here at our beck and call whenever we need you. That's great.
So like I'm helping my mom, and then I'm taking them outside. Then I'm coming back in, helping my mom, taking them for a walk. But it's also been bitterly cold here and snowy, so it's not like we can do a whole lot with them either. And my mom does not have a backyard, so we have to like take them out when we go out. Anyways, it's a whole thing. So, but I'm grateful for the break from work. I shan't be mad. I'm pleased, and I'm looking for other jobs too. I'll say that on this podcast. I don't care.
Love that.
Well, I won't. I don't want to give away where I work, because if somebody realizes where I work and then they submit this podcast to the ethics, whatever,
we're all fired. I know.
But I'm hoping to get out before July. That's my goal.
Why?
Because they took away remote work, so we have to be fully in the office by July 1st.
Oh, you're a part of that.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. My job technically is a remote job because I don't have an office.
Right.
But I don't know if they're going to say.
Sounds like they're going to find you one.
Well, yeah, I do have one now, but it's just, so I'm like, okay, bye. So, and then we won't talk about student loans and all that jazz.
I know.
I did look back, and you are right about the buyback. You are correct.
What did I say?
You told me, because we talked about it, and you said that, but like you can have as long as you make or you go up to the 120, you qualify for it. The way that I read it was that you had to be at 120 before you could even do it. So I was at like 107. So I have to wait until April to submit my like work, and then I'll do buyback, and then hopefully they'll be like, you owe this, you gave us this much, and we'll discharge your loans. Yeah, because they last certified it in March, and you can only certify once a year, unfortunately, which is stupid. So once I can't.
I know. With that, I'm like,
we won't talk about the hellscape that is America.
We can't.
So sorry if that's what you guys all are looking for. We cannot dive in. I don't want to get on my soapbox.
No, I'm talking about what's tired. I mean, that I think being a therapist in it, because everyone's like, what do I do? And I'm like, girl, like you like do your best. Like,
yeah, truly, honestly. they're hopefully you have something in your life that you love and are working towards that has nothing to do with the government, but hopefully you have people in your life. Like I can't, I could not be a therapist right now. I couldn't do it.
Now maybe is a good time to take up alcoholism. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a professional.
Now's a good time to try to ask your doctor if you can have Xanax.
Right. Now is the time to get a Xanny bar.
Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to travel later this year, and everything's not helping. Justin has to go. Has to travel on a plane for work in a few weeks, and it's not helping.
Well,
I don't. What does Edward say about all this? Does he have any insights?
It's for those of you who
Sorry, I don't want to dox Edward.
No, please. He's not here, so he doesn't get. You have to be here to
you don't get to
defend
say.
yourself. Yeah. For those who recall, Edward, my boyfriend, is a flight attendant. He says he can't think about it because, like, he has to work. Like,
yeah,
he can't sit and like worry about it. Plus, I mean, they have to react to when things happen, so they have to like be on alert.
Yeah.
They can't be thinking about, oh my gosh, what if? They have to be in the moment and focusing on like the safety of everybody. So he's like, I just can't. You just can't think about it.
The upside down would kill me. I mean,
I'd be
nobody
like, well,
died, thankfully.
I'm only traveling by bus for the rest of my life. So, yeah, I don't know. But see, you know, he wouldn't tell me if he was in one of those planes. Like, I would have to put
you get like a call like in like 2 days later. Oh, by the way.
Exactly. Well, or like with the one in Toronto, like he could have totally, been on that one. But he knows I worry, so he wouldn't have told me. I would have had to like look at his schedule to see if he was on that one.
Yeah.
But the American Airlines one, I had to stop looking at that one. Like I was getting in a hole, girl.
That was crazy.
And all I could think was like that could have been him. Like he goes to DC all the time.
I can't get behind the amount of people, and I won't say who, not in my family, but in maybe Justin's family, are posting like about these like conspiracy theories with that one specifically, and like
what?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, let's not do this. Like, let's not. Like, they're like, how could a helicopter take down a plane like that? And I saw the video, and I was like, this is terrible. One to like even watch the video, but like,
I know.
Like, let's not do this. Like, let's just not do this. Like, can we just agree that this is horrible? Something clearly went wrong. Like,
right. And it's tragic.
Yeah. I mean, it's horrible. And then people are posting, they're like, well, it's all figure skaters. What does that mean? What do they know? And it's like, oh my God, this is like, these are people. Like,
exactly.
This has nothing to do with a big conspiracy.
And if it does, like, it doesn't help to post all this crazy stuff about it.
No.
And I had to stop because especially when they started saying how many bodies they were pulling out, I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm going back to like ignorance is bliss and the world is fine, and that's where we're at. Like, no.
It's a hellscape. So as I keep telling my mom every day, I'm like, this is just the hellscape that America.
Right. And we all need to start practicing a little bit of radical acceptance to just go, this is a shit show.
That or rational detachment of like, this has like, I mean, that's what I'm like,
literally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't claim what's happening to the government. Like this is not what I voted for. Right. This is all your fault. This is all this is your problem. Like, exactly. And all the amount of articles that of people who voted for Trump that are very upset now is comical. Comical.
That's what I tell all my clients because they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, look, we're living by the FAFO doctrine right now. Like, it's fuck around and find out. And like, I mean, seriously though, like people, all these people, I know we say we're going to do this, but here we are.
Oh, we're doing it.
All these people said like, oh, you know, Trump's going to fix this for me. He's going to fix that for me. And oopsies. No, he's not. Like, he broke all that stuff.
Literally, as soon as he was elected, he was like, so sorry, I can't do shit about your grocery prices. So sorry. And I'm going to put tariffs on everything. And don't even get me fucking started on tariffs, because if you cannot pass a 5th grade social studies test or a civic civic lesson. Like, did you have to recite the preamble when you were in 8th grade like I did, Kyle? I don't know. But if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be making decisions about our government as I threaten you with this like little Allen wrench. But I'm just saying.
Is that the we the people thing?
Yes, it's like the we the people in order to form a more perfect union.
Oh,
That's the only thing I remember.
No, I don't think we had to do
we had to
that.
recite so much shit for that. But I'm like, you should not be talking about anything if you cannot pass these tests. Because every time I see something online, I'm like, you guys are so just come on. And then they're like talking about tariffs and they're like, oh, and I'm like, America does not have the infrastructure and the manufacturing. Like what you're doing is making everything more costly for America. Are you guys
100%.
Are like this is something you could easily Google. Like, oh, I hate to put him on blast, but I have a coworker who I will just say really admires Trump, and he was talking about the tariffs one day, and I had another coworker basically be like, who pays for tariffs? And he's like, the other countries. And he was like, you better shut the fuck up because that's not even at all true. Like, you need to look back at social studies class. Like, and I'm not saying I could pass the civics test. Like, I probably get shit wrong, but come on.
It's minimally true. Like, yeah, they do pay for it, but then they make you pay it back by increasing the price of their item.
Well, and if we could make the items in America, this wouldn't be a huge deal because you could easily get these things. But we don't manufacture hardly anything.
No, and even if we do, it's expensive as hell. So
no,
it's
terrible. It's so bad.
So
We're
it's
probably losing like one listener right now, but
I know. Well,
if you were MAGA before this, you were not at the right place.
You were not listening to us if you were into MAGA. There's no way you've made it this far.
Oh my God.
I don't think. There's no way.
And we won't talk about we're taking away everything that's not white power. Let's take away.
It's Handmaid's Tale. I'm like, you're gonna be of Justin. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna be on the wall. Like
you're gonna be marrying your beard.
Oh God.
Find your girl now.
God, and then I'm gonna have to like rape a woman. Like it's gonna be too much. I just can't. Like I can't.
No, if you can't have a kid, you just blame the woman. That's what they all do anyway.
Oh, that's true. It's her fault, obviously.
I know. Yeah. It's.
If anyone wants to be my handmaid, let me know.
If I wasn't married, I'd be like, let's just do it. You do your thing, I'll do my thing.
We could do a whole thing, like maybe like Edward could be a bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then we could have like some other of our friends, like someone could be a Martha.
Yes.
And someone could like cook, and we could have
get a commune. I'm just saying it might work.
And then we would do what's it called? Not dark sided. What's it called? Underground like drag shows. I don't know.
Sure.
Dark-sided drag shows. Like we would like bootleg, like we would be bootleggers, but like for gay stuff.
Yeah. We were just putting on drag shows in our basement. I can't. Well. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed our return to
our reunion tour. It's happening.
Oh my God, I have missed you. We haven't talked in a while. It's been a minute because you've been busy. I've been busy. It's been a whole thing.
Didn't I text you at one point and I was like, I said something about like, I know we're not like this, but low-key, I kind of miss you guys.
It was so funny. Like earlier that week, I was again driving for work as I do, and I was like, man, I kind of miss Kyle. And I was like, I can't text him that because he'll be like, what the hell is that?
I know that's not our vibe.
That's not our vibe. No,
we
it's
don't
not.
do like emotions a lot.
No, it was so funny though. I was like, I like you texted me in like probably 2 or 3 days before that. I was like, man, I gotta miss Kyle. So, but we shall return. We should talk about the new thing that we're gonna do because you'll probably hear that before you maybe hear another real episode.
Maybe we'll see.
We'll see.
Again, ABC always be contenting. We would like to start doing weekly content for you all.
Weekly content. So yeah, we're gonna like, I think we're calling the mic check or sound check. I don't know what the hell we're calling it. We're gonna call it something.
I don't know. Whatever producer Justin puts it as.
But these are the things that we talk about while Justin's adjusting our microphone.
Yeah.
Sometimes we probably won't release all of them. Maybe someday if we ever do like paywall stuff, we might do because we had done a few before, like months ago, that we both were like, this needs to be behind a paywall.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Sometimes
vault
we clock the
those.
tea too hard.
Yes, yes. There we had one in particular that I can think of that I'm like, yeah, we won't release that, but we will do more episodes, so they won't be super long, probably like maybe 10 minutes at most of us just chatting about random subjects. So hopefully everybody loves that.
Because we know you guys miss us and you want to hear us talk about.
We're funny, okay?
I
That's
mean,
what my
literally,
mom says. She says I'm
literally
funny.
literally anything.
And I mean, if you have thoughts about if you want us to talk about a particular subject on Silent Check within reason, I'm not gonna go wild. You can obviously hit us up on the social medias, which I have not checked or done anything with in probably 6 months.
Yeah.
But we can see messages. So if you message, we will look at those. But and maybe this year we will get on a schedule with social media. Who knows?
It's hard. It's anyone's.
You know, if I could only hire somebody to do it for free, and that would be really good, and then but I don't know anybody that would do it for free, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, write in if that's you.
Yes, if you would love to do our socials, send us a resume. I guess maybe we should look at that.
No,
they're like, I want to do your social media, and they start posting all kinds of
5-minute video of why we should pick you.
I want to know what your top episode of Two Tired Therapists is. That's how I know you're a fan.
That's it.
Because we have some good ones. We have some gems out there.
Your top 3 favorite Two Tired Therapist moments. And if they're not the right top 3, no.
You're cut.
You're cut. You're fired.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note,
stay tired
and petty.